Can you guys hear me? Let's make sure you guys can hear me because I'm not very experienced at these live streams. Let's get this closer in. There we go. Alrighty. There we go. So I don't have a proper setup to do this, so I am using one phone to do the camera and this phone to do the chat. So, first of all, Poseidon's Pets, how you doing, Kyle? How you doing, man? Haven't heard from you in a while. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Oh, now my wife is sending me a text. Okay. All right. So, I tell you what, making these YouTube videos, doing 2 every single week, is good and fun, and I normally enjoy it, but sometimes, I just kind of get burned out. And I'm kind of at that point right now where I need to take not a long break, but I'm going to take a little break from videos. We're going to try to do some live streams, maybe some more shorts. And the cat is rubbing up against the bottom of the tripod. Alrighty. Good, man? Just busy with the baby. Yeah, you're a new dad. That's right. I bet you. How's the sleep going? Probably not too good. I know. Let's see. My boy, something had to give. Unfortunately, it was the YouTube creation in YouTube. Yeah, I get you, man. That being a parent is tough, tough, tough. I know when we had the first one, everyone's trying to help, and they did a lot. We had a lot of family help us out. And then we had the second one about a year and a half later, and then life happened, and let's see, I think it was about 4 years after the second one. We had the third one. So I have an 21-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 15-year-old. Yeah. But what I was saying is making videos is pretty hard, and so I'm going to try to do some live streams, see if I can get used to doing it. To be honest, I'm very, very uncomfortable doing live streams. But hey, let's give it a go. Let's see here. I've been super, super busy on the website stuff. You guys are keeping me super, super busy. Like, I'm going to have to start limiting stock on stuff now, I think, because that's kind of normal, though. The springtime, about get bought out. And then in the fall, you about get bought out. But usually it slows down some in the summer, and it's not slowing down yet. And I'm going to end up selling out everything I got. So I'm going to have to start limiting it. And tell you what, there's been a mad run on my moss here lately. Oh, goodness. I added like 30 portions of moss, got sold out. Added a few more, got sold out. The outdoor ponds now. We got some storms rolling through, and if we had enough people here, I thought I would take y'all outside to see how doable that'll be. Let's go outside, since Anthony asked about the ponds outside. That was the plan, but we have storms rolling in any minute, like literally any minute. So let's see if we can go outside. Oh yeah, the sky is getting black. Won't be long. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Egad. What kind of pump am I using outside? Oh, let's go find out. I'll show you. That's the little guppy water garden pond deal. It's been doing good. Let's get over here. Rain comes. Ooh, that's looking real bad. Let's see. The pump is the Pond Master AP 100 watt pump. I got about 10 times more air than I actually need to run these tubs. That is the air pump. And then, like, the bad thing is with these tubs, you can't really see down in them. And I don't want people, or not people, I don't want critters getting in there. But we've got a bug net and a shed cloth, and they're all the way down there. My neighbor's outside working in the yard. See, now the only time I can really see them is I come out here at night with a flashlight. But yeah. So let's. Oh, I got to catch up on. There we go. Brandy says nasty. What is nasty? Brandy's my wife, so I'm not sure what she's talking about. But we can sit out here and wait for the. How do you have nets and cloth secure? Oh, I will show you that if we have enough time for the storms hit. I made my own bungee cords type of thing. You can see it right here. Super heavy duty bungee cords. And I tied these metal carabiners that clip. And then it's all just tucked in here like this little overhang come untucked. And that keeps the tension tight. So then when it rains and stuff, it don't just get pushed down in. Every once in a while, I'll come out here and do what I just did there. And then there are nylon bolts and nuts to act as a guide, because if I didn't have these down, there's 4 of these right there, 1 back there, over there, 2 on each side. And if I didn't have those, then this would just go boom down to the bottom. I was saying some bad words when I was trying to set this up. Like, I'm gonna have to put something in here to keep that from falling down. But it's getting close. I don't think we're supposed to get any really bad storms, but you never know. All right. JT, how you doing, man? How you doing? Oh, my wife's talking about the sky. I thought my own wife was calling me nasty. No, I've done live streams in the past, but not a lot. How are they doing outside, the shrimp? Well, they are doing good. I'm starting to see lots and lots of buried ones. I'm starting to see some babies popping up in some of them. But the temperature's been up and down, up and down, up and down. And it's been getting cool at night. And so temperature's been dropping a little bit lower than I'd like some days. So I think that might have slowed them down now. But I think the chances of us getting super cold weather, well, not super cold, but chilly, to get the ponds too chilly for breeding, is behind us, I hope. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button there. Yeah. Are you water changing or just dropping off? Topping off? I have, I'll show you that before we. So here's my hose. And my hose has a quick connect, and it's raining. And so I pop the connect, and then there's a water line going all the way down. And so they get trickle water changed like 2 hours a week. And there's holes drilled in them with a piece of foam. So it's just overflow with foam to keep the shrimp from flowing out and escaping. Yeah, it's raining. We gotta go inside. I was hoping the rain would hold off. It did a little bit. 10 minutes. Oh goodness. Yep, starting to rain hard. I add safe. See if I can get this back on the tripod. Yeah, just unfiltered tap water. Straight cold water from the outside hose. That's all that goes out there. And I add a double dose of safe and then let it overflow for 2 hours. I don't turn the hose on all the way, but I figured it out. I try to get the hose going about 1.5 gallons a minute. And I have all the water valves tuned into being about the same. So then I put in about 1.5 gallons a minute. So divide that by 10, and you're running it for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. And I'm getting close to around a 10% water change every week. So I think it works out pretty good. I think. Let's see. I miss anyone? Oh, my wife. Saying the sky. It's good. She wasn't on here calling me nasty. I thought she was on here calling me nasty. She must be on her lunch break at work. So let's see. I got some notes here, stuff to talk about. Talked about. Oh yeah, I'm going to be getting the new thing. The next thing coming up on the list of things I'm doing is I am getting a 40-gallon tank going to breed. I need a 40-gallon tank for my little red Riding Hoods. Those guys have been doing really, really, really good. And so I wanted to get a 40-gallon. And now the cat, who never has anything to do with me, is coming up here to bother me. But I'm trying to do this. All right, Meow Meow. This cat's name is Meow Meow. She used to be on videos a lot. Little Meow Meow. Yeah. Thanks, Kyle. Yeah, Neos are crazy, crazy hardy. I had some that lived all winter outside. Nice seeing you, Kyle. Nice seeing you. Thanks for stopping by, man. Let's see here. We got. So basically, better, Kyle. Let's see here. This is why I don't like doing live streams, so I don't have nothing to talk about. I should have done a better job. Oh, another video I have coming up in store is problem tanks. So you guys want to talk about that in the chat or anything like that? Because there's some tanks, I mean, we're limited to our testing, but you can have a pretty good idea. I mean, if your water's good and there's certain signs, like sometimes you'll start seeing like shrimp that are slow. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you. Let's see. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate that. See, we're getting more people rolling in here now that I was outside. I wanted to spend a lot of time outside today, but the weather is not cooperating. So, problem tanks. Sometimes we don't know. But a lot of times, if your water tests good, your GH and KH are fine, and there's no ammonia, no nitrites. Barium delirium. Hi, Mark. Good to see you. Bought some yellow gold bullion, and they must like my water because they've quadrupled in 2 months. Good to hear. Oh, it's just a little rain, Brandy says. She's at work, but she's like 4 minutes from me. All fish related or shrimp. What are we talking about here? Did I miss something? Let's see. So on here, my chat is not updating. I don't know why. Yeah. Okay, I probably missed some stuff. The last thing, this thing quit updating when my wife said the sky. We get up again. Easy idea. Hi there, Mark. First live. Yeah, I seen that pop up on the screen, but then if I didn't see it right away, it disappeared. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, I need some questions for my quiz, JT says. I don't know. I don't have that mindset. And what are some questions? I was getting ready to start talking about problem tanks. And I think if your water's good and you've had shrimp doing good before, I'm starting to think the main problem with problem tanks is bacterial infections. Let's see. Oh, shark scientific names. Yeah. Shark. I was on a live stream. What was it? Sunday night, and the king at DIY, Joey, asked me. I guess he has shrimp in his electric eel tank, and he asked me. Um, he asked me, why are the shrimp not affected by the electric shock? I first thought was, why'd you, if you was wondering, if you thought they was going to get shocked, then why'd you put them in there? And then is it like, why are they impervious? So, I don't know. Keeping electric eels never crossed my mind, and keeping shrimp with electric eel is so. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. So that was an interesting question. Let's see here. I live in Spain where 8 months of the year the weather is good. Oh, that disappeared. Let's see. Do you recommend a heater for 1 gallon shrimp bowl? Ugh. In Spain, I'm guessing you probably don't freeze, do you? My shrimp lived outside year round, and we get not just below freezing, but way below freezing. Joining from Costa del England, just moved all my fish from my 4-foot community tank to about Neocritian said big skills tank. I tell you what, I don't know why, but this drives me nuts on live streams. When I try to get on live streams, see this little freaking heart? I can't see what they're saying. Larry, how you doing? Larry Henry? How's it going? It's going good, man. It's going good. Just keep on grinding. Yeah, I know there was a debate about it. I don't even, what's the heart for? Does it mean I like it? Oh, I gave myself a heart. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. I've never done that before. It's like, this heart is annoying. Why can't I see what the heck people are saying? see. Now, I do have plans now. I'm sure most of you have figured it out by now, but I'm not really a real video editor. Um, I shoot everything and edit everything on a phone, just like I'm live streaming on a phone and using my old phone to read the chat. If you turn the phone sideways, the heart goes away. But yeah, and then I can't see it. I already have to wear my glasses so I can see the chat on any live stream I do because the doctor said, "Oh, congratulations, you're getting old, and you got to have glasses." I was all worried about it being a diabetes complication or all that. He's like, "No, your eyes are fine. You're just getting old." There we go. Yeah, you're right. Nice. And now, can I see it? I think I can see it. All right, let's see some of these. Asparagus ash. Joining from Costa del England. Just moved all the fish from my 4-foot community tank. About to move all my neocaridina into it instead. Big Skittles tank. Skittles tanks are fun. I love Skittles tanks. It's just, you gotta remember, you sacrifice quality for variety. That's what I tell a lot of people. You'll get all brown shrimp, gray shrimp. No, you won't. I mean, just like anything, if you have shrimp in there you don't like, you got to take them out. That's how all shrimp keeping goes. And Skittles, it's not any different. If you don't like the shrimp, a shrimp that pops up, take it out. And then there's obviously certain colors that'll mix better together than others. But, let's see. Did I miss anything else? Oh, yeah. Simon Adamson. Hey, mate, I live in Spain where 8 months out of the year the weather is good. Do you recommend a heater for a 1-gallon shrimp bowl? If yes, would they breed in smaller capacity? And I am saying no. You don't really need a heater, especially a 1-gallon bowl with a heater. That seems like a good way to cook your shrimp. Um, yeah, you shrimp will live as long as they don't freeze for the most part. So the only reason I use heaters in some of my tanks, like all my tanks are on racks, and so the tanks that are closest to the floor in the winter, they'll get cold. And my goal, since I make a living breeding shrimp, is I'm trying to keep them breeding year round. And some of my tanks on the floor will get all the way down to 50s and 60s, and my shrimp quit breeding once it gets down to 65. When you get 66, 67, they'll start breeding some, but they'll reliably breed at 68. So, and if you're in a 1-gallon bowl, I don't think you really need to even stress about having a heater. Is there any reason why water levels are always so high in shrimp tanks? Water levels. You mean like my water levels are high because I like having my tanks full? Is that what you're talking about? Like instead of having the water down here, it's always up here? For me, that's personal preference, if that's what you're talking about. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know, man. That's a. I think it's just a personal preference. I have a friend of mine. When he paints his tanks, he paints a stripe from here to here, and he keeps his water level behind the stripe because he don't want to see the low level. Just like I don't want to see the low level, but he don't want to have all the way full tank. So I don't want to see the water level, so I keep it all the way up to the trim, and then he don't want his tank all the way full, so he paints it like down to here, and then has the water level right here. The reason, I think it's just personal preference. I mean, I don't know any other reason other than that. But yeah, for the heater in a 1-gallon bowl, you really don't need a heater at all. I'm guessing you don't even get below freezing in Spain. And if it's in your house, you don't need a heater at all. I mean, I had with a greenhouse cover, the water got down to 33 point something degrees Fahrenheit, which is essentially like 0.5 degrees Celsius, below one, not zero, like on the edge of freezing. And I had shrimp live all winter. So as long as they don't freeze, the only reason you're going to need a heater is if your tanks get cool in the winter and you want to keep them breeding like I do. This dang thing done it to me again, where it's not showing all the. Let's see. Voyeur of misfortune. Has anyone found some neos can swap genders and assist in extracting older genetics? I don't know anything about neo swapping genders. Extracting older genetics from Skittles colonies. Once I put shrimp in a Skittles tank, it's rode off. I don't even think about it as being a line anymore. It's like once they're in the Skittles tank, it's done. They're not a line anymore. They're just Skittles shrimp. To me, if I want good shrimp, you want to get good shrimp. You don't want to try to get something out of this. I mean, now if you're doing something in the Skittles and you get something pop up and you want to try to recreate that, then that's perfect. Then hopefully you have a male and a female. Then you can try to line those out now. But really, the more mixed the genetic background is of the shrimp, the more impossible it's going to be to, because there'll be anything for years. If you just pull a random shrimp out of a Skittle shrimp tank, it can breed anything for a long, long time. So it's hard telling. I duct tape my tanks for hiding the water line. Yeah. How many years have you been in the shrimping business? Anthony asked. Well, this month is actually 2 years that I've been full time, quit my job and been doing this full time. So that's kind of cool. It's been 2 years exactly since I quit my job to do this full time. And I had the website up and running for about a year and a half before that. And then, let's see, a year and a half or two before that, I was selling wholesale. And then before that, I was figuring out how to do it all. So I'm thinking, I think I've been keeping shrimp for 7 years, I think. And the first few years was figuring it out. Then I sold wholesale for a couple of years. Then I got my website going for about a year and a half. And then I quit my job and did it full time. So, and I've been doing the YouTube videos about as long as I've been keeping shrimp. I mean, the first like 3 or 4 years, or it's just some guy learning. I mean, I'm still learning. Once you figured it all out, then that's when you're done, and you ain't figured anything out. You got to always keep an open mind because there's always new things happening. Let's see if I can get this to work right. Hey, Mark Shrimp Tanks, how you doing, man? How you doing? He is the one that said, because I was like, oh man, I don't feel like doing a video. I'm burned out. He said, do a live stream. So here I am. I'm doing a live stream. JT keeping fish. That's impressive, though. A bunch of my buried females dropped their eggs last night. Ugh. Well, are they new to you, shrimp? Has something changed? Now, I've had problems with buried females dying or new shrimp, like the first time they get buried in my possession. It's pretty common for them to drop, if they're really young with their first batch or two, they can drop. Now these orange realies, these guys were doing that a lot. Like the OG adults I got with this colony, like you'd have females with huge, like 30, 40 eggs, and they'd have 3 or 4 by the time they dropped them. And so that was a bummer. But I mean, honestly, sometimes there's things you just don't know. I mean, I'm just a hobbyist. I'm not a hardcore shrimp scientist. It's like it's all scientific method. You think what's going to happen, you do the changes, you hope for the best, and see if it works or not. And if that works, then you repeat that and add a little bit to it, seeing if that'll work. And some things work, some things don't. The things that don't work, you quit doing. The things that do work, you do a little more. And then it's just been over the course of years and years. I mean, I'm still like these orange ones. This is a problem tank. These orange reelies. These are the shrimp I imported. I didn't import them myself. I got them from an importer. I only got 20 shrimp to bring them back out. I bred out hundreds of them. I took about 100, 115 of the adults outside. So there's a tub out there of orange reelies. And then this tank had all kinds of weird, like black algae. I don't know what it was, but they started getting the shrimp started getting a bunch of like arched backs. And usually, and like being lethargic and laying on their side, and usually that's a sign of a bacterial infection. And so I completely gutted this tank down to nothing, bleached everything, the filter, the substrate, the pump, the tank itself. While I was doing all that, the shrimp were living in a bucket. Then I got a sponge squeeze from a clean tank, from a good, healthy tank. And so now there's some that were really bad off when I did it. And so I've still lost a few, but I think, and I've also been doing for the shrimp that are not doing good. I got this for my Caridina shrimp, and it's worked. This chair's so messed up. And it's done really good because these guys were showing the same symptoms that my Caridina was showing. And this from Plamsky, the cure for bacterial issues. Now, I don't know how effective it is in hard water neos, but I've been dosing it, and it seems like it's helping. So maybe someone who's out there that knows better, maybe tell me I'm dumb and it's not doing anything for me, but it seems like it's helping. Like, you can tell the ones that are affected, they walk around with arched backs, and they're real slow and lethargic, and some of them are scurrying around and acting fine, doing their thing. They're all kind of slow right now, but every time I do a tank reset like that, they all kind of slow down some. Garrett says, how are the outside ponds doing? New to me shrimp. I think might be their first time. Yeah, that's normal then. New to you shrimp and first time being buried, you got the double whammy. So there's a pretty good chance you're going to have some issues. I mean, it's not issues. It's just inexperienced females. Anytime you get new shrimp, like the first month is hit and miss. Even the first couple, 2 or 3 months can be, because they're going through their life cycles. Excuse me. They're going through their life cycle for the first time in different water. You know, like I know with these little Red Riding Hoods, when I first got them, now, the people I got them off of, they had water that was way, way, way softer. And so, like, I noticed that too. Is like, I ended up losing some of them because what would happen is they all got on the same molting schedule, it seemed like. Because, you know, there isn't any babies yet. They're not all growing at different rates. They're all on the same schedule. And a lot of times when you get new shrimp, the difference in water, even though you do it nice and slow, they'll still want to molt prematurely. I mean, to me, I think that's just the nature of the business. And when you get new shrimp and stuff like that, is they just kind of, Dave, how you doing, man? I'm gonna order some pizza. Anybody else want some? Around here, Friday's pizza night here. Let's see. Blue Dreams up on site? I believe they are. In fact, that's one of the ones that has been there's been a mad rush on Blue Dreams. I think I sold like 160 Blue Dreams in the last week. That's crazy. Usually I sell about 20 of those a week. And those have gone nuts. No pineapple. Jeff says, hey, I just turned. Yeah, but I did notice the Blue Dreams got sold out and I added 50 more to the website today. And I added like 15 more pilo moss and I woke up this morning and it was already sold out. Oh, goodness. Oh, so you're already at, yeah. There are blue jellies that I got from you already at 20 or so babies. Yeah. That's I mean, that's just kind of what happens when they're getting adjusted and settling. And if you already got some babies growing up and doing good, you don't have nothing to worry about. It's just new shrimp struggles, in my opinion. I mean, I've seen it a couple times in a couple tanks where I had buried females dying, and the only dead shrimp I ever seen were buried females. I never did figure that one out. That's one of those things where I was starting to talk about earlier with problem tanks when we don't know what we got going on. Now, you don't want to jump to conclusions when there's not a problem and take drastic measures when it's just the something even itself out. You know, it might be a new tank type of thing. Tank still balancing out. Shrimp are still getting used to your new water. So don't go jumping the gun. I mean, I'm talking about dying off and bad stuff happening regularly, continuously for a week at a time, because that's what in this tank is getting to the point where I seen probably 3 or 4 dead shrimp every week. And then this weekend I looked and I saw 3 dead in there at the same time after scooping out 2 or 3 earlier in the week. I was like, yeah, there's something up. These guys ain't acting right. So that's why I did that. Now, the worst thing you can do is it's not that big of a problem. They're just settling in and then go and blow the whole thing up. Because when you blow the whole thing up like this, yeah, you're doing harm, but sometimes you got to do harm to do good type of situation, I think. So you don't want to just completely restart everything unless you have to, especially going the route of bleaching everything and going that route, because then you got to completely recycle everything from scratch. Let's see. Jeff, hey Mark, just turned the machine on. Howdy. Yeah, I went to bed last night. I didn't have a video for today. It's like I'm just kind of, sometimes I get burned out doing 2 videos a week. And I've been super busy. And it's just one of those things where my brain wasn't into making a video the first part of this week. Hopefully I'll have something Friday. If not, we'll see. Because I just needed a break. I've been going pretty much 2 years, almost nonstop, having 2 videos every week. I've not taken a vacation. I'm not taking a vacation this week. I'm still packing orders and doing the live stream. But I think I need an easy week from the creative process. Let's call it that. Oh, Frank, how you doing, man? Just saw this. Yeah, I don't do it very often, but I did one Sunday on some with someone else, and I am supposed to be on Jeff's today. So I'm going to do that. I'm trying to get used to doing live streams. I'm always nervous and don't like going live, but it usually seems like it goes fairly good. Yeah, wife says, we're going to a Cincinnati Reds game. Well, we're going to Cincinnati, but we're going to watch the Cubs. Cubs life here. And Cincinnati is a lot easier for us to get to than Chicago. Let's see here. Anthony, oh, Jeff's asked how the tubs are doing outside. Well, we already covered that, but they're doing good, good. Um, I think the cool nights, we've had cooler than normal nights, so the temperature's a little bit cooler than ideal. Not all the time, but we've been getting in the 50s at night. And so sometimes the tubs will get down to like 64, 65, kind of that threshold, just below that threshold of breeding temps. But they're always back in the 70s at least during the day. But now, I think now we're in June, I think the chances of cooler days are mostly behind us. And so now they're getting to be about like 74, 75 in the morning and getting to like 81, 82 in the day. And that's perfect. So we're having lots and lots of buried ones and some babies. I haven't seen a ton of babies yet, but I'm kind of thinking like the tub that looks like it's doing super, super good is the snowball shrimp. Of all the tubs I was hoping to do good, the snowballs are not at the top of the list. I love the snowballs, but I just only sell so many of them. But come fall, I may have like 6,000 snowball shrimp. Let's see. Anthony says, you said earlier that you're slowing down your sales due to inventory such as Palamos. Anything else you're building back up before you sell off more of? Well, it's not going to be I sell off and it's just going to be instead of making sure these are always in stock, like if I need to slow things down, instead of just saying, all right, there's 100 of those, that'll be good for a couple weeks. I also had like 20, 30 of certain things each week, every Friday. And if by Friday they're not on there, then I don't have any to share with that. So I update my stock every Friday afternoon, usually because I ship Tuesday morning and Friday morning. I'm usually done shipping around noon to 1 on Friday, and I'll come home and relax, do tracking numbers into the system, and then I restock the website after catching everything out. So I'm not gonna. I try to keep something in stock every week of everything, but sometimes I just can't do it. So there'll be limited stock on some things from now anyway. Let's see. Thankfully, I only lost one shrimp since, yep. Losing one shrimp is perfectly fine, and a few females dropping some eggs is fine. It's normal. There's nothing to worry too much about it. It's like sometimes I forget people they get to looking at, just a handful of shrimp and worry when just like you say you got 15 shrimp and one dies, it's kind of, ooh, that kind of sucks for them. But for me, when I have thousands and thousands of shrimp in a tank and I see a few dead ones, I don't worry. Now if I come back 2 days later and I see a dead one, or I check it and I see a couple dead shrimp, one dead shrimp on 3 occasions over the course of a week, then I'll start looking at it. And I'll start thinking, all right, something going on in here. And the first thing I'll do is do an ammonia test. And if I have any ammonia or nitrates, I will add safe. And nine times out of 10, that's the problem. Something's happened to the tank or I put too much food in, or I don't know. But every once in a while, that's why we call it a tank crash. And the safe always takes care of that. Now, there'll be times where I like, there's something going on here. I'll put some safe in because it also neutralizes heavy metals. And with me using tap water, I use that with every water change, but still, a worry on my mind. Hello, James. Player misfortune, yeah. Snowballs, I'll have them. What is your go-to food for your shrimp? My own food, of course. It is available on our website. It is, well, I don't have a package to show you guys. I sell them in 1 and 2 ounce packages, but here's about 5 pounds of it. This is the food. When I make a big batch, I put half of it in here and then bag up the rest. This is the food. It is high protein ground up stuff I get in bulk and grind it up, process it, and blend it all together. And that's how I do that. Let's see if I missed anything else. I think we're caught up. So let's see here. You guys, what videos? You have any input for videos in the future? Because part of the problem is I'm burned out. I mean, I like making shrimp tips videos and helping. And then there's always new people coming and going. You know how people fade in and fade out of the hobby. You got viewers who are coming and going, fade in, fading out, asking the same questions. And I feel like I make the same videos, but you know, you got to keep making the videos. How long will that amount of food last you? Well, that probably about 3 or 4 months. When I just made a new batch of food a couple weeks ago. So that'll get me through 3 or 4 months. And that's feeding all the outside tubs, all the shrimp tanks, all the guppy tanks. And I also feed Hikari algae wafers for the plecos and, you know, like when I catch shrimp and when I make videos, check in a couple algae wafers and boom, you'll have tons of shrimp. Let me show you. For example, I want to possibly show you guys these shrimp in a video. So I put an algae wafer in. Oh, didn't mean to do that. I messed up pretty bad. All right, let's try that again. I can get this on here without falling out. There we go. So I can put an algae wafer in. There's the little Red Riding Hoods. I think a video coming up. Now I just reset these yellows. There's not a whole lot going on there. The black rose. Now, these guys, they weren't as good as I'd hoped they'd be, to be honest. I've already culled them down to 50% twice. And now there's lots of little ones in here, so I'm going to wait for these to grow up some more. And then I think I'm going to do a reset because this tank's getting to be like 7 or 8 months old. And in my hardcore breeding tanks, I reset them all the time. I've already culled out 50% of these twice. The first time was probably like 60 or 70% I culled out. So, and then here are the shrimp, the orange realies. See, there's still some of them come for food, and then there's other ones chilling back there. So, I think I've only lost like 4 more since I redid it. But those 4, they're barely alive when I reset it. There's some crawling around on the spines, and there's still some acting kind of staying in the little moss section, but pretty good considering this tank was completely bleached, sand and tank and filter, pump, everything. And now it's up and running. That's not too bad. Oh, and then we got, look at the guppies. These are my rainbow lightning guppies. So I took, they look kind of like a Japan blue body, red mosaic tail, but they're not exactly that. They are that. But these come out of my, like a coal shrimp tank, skittle screw. This come out of my old coal. I had male guppies that look kind of like that. Not nearly as good, but kind of similar to that. And then I started crossing them back to female red mosaic, virgin red mosaic females. But I always wanted to make my own guppy line. They're not super high end, but they're pretty little guppy fish that breed true. And I enjoy the heck out of them. I'm not trying. I think they would be super cool if someone had the time and the tanks to really, really refine them out. But guppies are fun for me. I love guppies. Always had guppies. And I always wanted to make my own line, and I kind of stumbled across these guys, and then had some friends help me get the genetics set in, give me some pointers. And so now they breed true. All right, let's get this back up on here. Let's see here. See what I missed during all that. Every time I was on there. Oh, you were gone for 7 months? Where'd you go for 7 months? Let's see. Have you thought about making a Pleco breeding rack? You know, one of these days, my goal eventually is to build a building outside where, like a pole barn type of thing. I have enough room in my yard to do it. And so eventually, I want to do Plecos the right way and have a serious go at Plecos. But right now, I just don't have the space. And so that hopefully someday will happen, having a Pleco breeding rack. Maybe explore other shrimps besides Neocaridina. Now, I'm a Neo guy, so I have a Caridina tank. Is it safe to only top off with RO? If you're topping off, RO is the only thing you should be using. If you're topping off for evaporation, RO water to TDS of 0 is the only thing you should be using. Now, if you're taking water out, then you want to put in remineralized water or whatever water you normally add. But if you're just replacing evaporation, not only should you use it, or is it safe, that's the only thing you should be using. If you're topping off for evaporation, only RO or distilled water. Is there an advantage to painting the sides of your tank, or is it appearance reasons? I know that my garden I kill a fish love watching their tangerine tiger shrimp through the glass. For me, I haven't really thought of it. It's just an appearance thing for me. So each tank, I don't want to see from inside one tank and see another tank. So that's why I do that. And I don't want to see the ugly wall. I just want to see it nice. It just brings the uniformity, and I think it makes the shrimp and fish and plants look better. So it's just an appearance thing. There's no... The guppies tax the baby shrimp heavily. Yes. So when I was first starting out, my 75-gallon red tank, it started off being an Inler tank. And I had hundreds and hundreds of Inlers in there. I was like, I want to put some shrimp in there and see how that goes. So the shrimp started breeding out, and I had hundreds and hundreds of shrimp with the Inlers. And then I got serious. I was like, I started selling. That's when I started selling wholesale. I was like, man, I'm making a lot of money off these shrimp. I wonder if I would get more if I took the Inlers out. So I took all the Inlers out. I went from having like 500-600 shrimp to like 3,000 shrimp in a matter of a few months. So you can have highly successful shrimp colonies with Inlers and little fish that are not particularly hunters, but they're always going to eat the baby shrimp. Always. I would sit there and watch it. The big, fat, pregnant females, the great big, huge female Inlers, they would just go to town. Do. They'd sit there. I'd sit there and watch them eat 20 baby shrimp in a row. See, you ever get hydra from powdered food, or am I just feeding too much? Well, I've never had hydra, and my theory on the reason of that is because I have super hard water, and snails love it. Like, I make so many snails, tons and tons and tons of snails. So I don't get that kind of stuff. The snails outcompete everything because of the hard water. So I have limited bad creepy crawlies because I have so many shrimp because my water's so hard. That's my theory. And when I was doing wholesale, when I'd bring $2,000 worth of shrimp to the guy who was buying my shrimp, and back then I was purposely breeding plecos for him because he also had a fish store, and he'd sell the common plecos upstairs in the fish store, but the shrimp are sold online for the shrimp business. And so I had thousands and thousands and thousands of snails. I took him tons and tons of snails just to get rid of them. I didn't want them. And he had customers that had puffers, and he would actually sell them. So he was getting free money just because I wanted to get rid of snails. Worked out. Anyway, he had a tank that was completely infested with hydra. He's like, I bought these shrimp from this guy and some guy I know in the business still to this day. And the moss that the shrimp come in, his tank was completely infested with hydra. And so and this was a 55-gallon tank, and he just dumped in thousands and thousands of snails in his tank. And I come back like 2 or 3 weeks later to sell more shrimp to him. And he's like, dude, come here and look at this. The hydra were gone. The ram's horn snails either ate the hydra or just outcompeted them for food. So luckily, I don't have any experience with hydra. Thank God. So that's that story. Let's see. Cool, Mark. I'll be waiting on that. Jason Tan. Ever thought about trying both carninas, but no. I'm not really interested. If I'm going to do caridina and go through the extra hassle of caridina, I'm going to get awesome ones. When it comes to yellow or orange tiger shrimp, I just prefer Neos. That's my opinion on it. I mean, if I'm going to go through the hassle of substrate and RODI water and all that, I'm going to get something that I really like my red fancy tigers. Those are my favorite shrimp ever. I have those. I do try caridinas. I do have caridinas. And they are not nearly as easy, and I don't have as good a luck. Snails are gross. Yeah. JT keeping fit. Okay. What is your feeding schedule? Do you only feed powdered foods? I feed my powdered food once a day, every day. And then usually 2 or 3 times a week. Most tanks will get an algae wafer or two. But not a ton. I might give algae, like I said, 2 or 3 times a week, because when I catch them to sell them, you put it, because shrimp could be anywhere. You put an algae wafer in there, and boom, they like 80% of them will be in one little spot. So then that makes it a lot easier. I do that when I catch them to sell them. I do that when I catch them to call them, and I do that when I make videos to show all the shrimp. Red crystal shrimp. Yeah, those are pretty cool. I mean, I've really struggled with my red fancy tiger. So the whole caridina thing is not on my mind. I spent thousands of dollars on that tank, and it's not been a success. It's not been a total failure, an absolute total failure. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, glad I don't have the water for caridinas. Yeah. All my Neos are tap water. It's like drain it out and fill it back up as fast as you can with the with the Carradine is it's RODI water in buckets, dumped over, pumped into the tank. You know, I've found pretty good success with Neos, and I still want to do Carradine someday. I do. I have them now, but this is not my passion. Like I still feel like I have so much I can do with Neos that when I run out of ideas with Neos and run out of things I'm excited about with Neos, then I might do it. But I kind of feel like my brain is like a directional antenna, you know. Like if you're pointing this way, you get way more deeper. You're way more powerful. You're just looking in a certain direction, and if you try to encompass everything all around you, you know, I like to focus. I find it on like focusing on one thing. I'm happy with what I've got. I'm not looking to change things, type of thing. I really do like it. Yeah, the Sunburst Neos. Some people say a lot of them are just orange or just yellow. So it's some kind of a mix of oranges and yellows. I wanted to try to recreate them and make a video about it, but I don't know. The Sunburst Neos. I have some things I'm working on. I do have Tangerine Tigers and King Kongs. Let's see, Anthony. In our hard Indiana, they're breeding fine, throwing off some nice lemon heads and realize cool, cool. Yeah. I've heard those can do pretty good in hard water, but I don't know if up in Fort Wayne how hard your water. My water is ridiculous hard. As I start breeding neocadia shrimp, I currently have a few fire red grade shrimps, but have secure and cherry grade triplets. Yeah, yeah. That's all. That's what you can do if you want the best shrimp. You just keep calling more and more and more. I mean, you want higher and higher grades, then I mean that's. Oh, I wanted to something else I wanted to bring up. Shrimp breeding packs. I never even heard of such a thing before in my life, and now I've had two people. Do you sell shrimp breeding packs? Well, let me tell you why I don't. Shrimp breeding packs is for people who are importing, and when you import, they import by grade. So if you're trying to get higher grade ones, those are going to be like 99% female because that's just how neos work. The girls are better than the boys, and so what they're doing is if you pay extra, we'll guarantee you get some boys. Otherwise, you're probably going to get all girls unless you pay extra. So that's not a worry with how I sell them. I sell a good mix of both. So I was trying to figure out shrimp breeding pack. What in the world is that? Uh, I've never even heard of it before. Of course, I live in my own little world and depends on the grade. My sunbursts were originally from Taiwan. Most of them, the distinct mix of orange, yellow, and red. Green, blue, really? I know how to do it. It's not. It's a challenge. I know how to do it to make the blue, green, really. But it's just a matter of how long is it going to take and if it's worth it or not. Let's see. What's the best or rather strangest shrimp story you have for us? I remember the cow shrimp you had a video of last year if you had time to tell us. Mm, the I had a shrimp that looked like it was a really it was in the Bloody Mary blue Bloody Mary really looking one I tried to do. Let's see. Oh, let's see. What do we got here? I got lost. I was down. The cow, yeah, okay. The strangest shrimp. Skittles, all I gotta do is go look at the Skittles tank and there's some, what the heck are you, son? I love it. That's why I love having a big Skittles tank. Because there's all kinds of crazy things. Like, I had one that had like a red head, like a clear middle, and a blue tail. And then there's ones that have like a blue body, and they're kind of, it's like when I'm trying to cross the the Bloody Mary Rilleys and the blue carbon Rilleys. You get some really interesting looking shrimp in that mix. Really interesting ones. Let's see. Can I introduce new high quality shrimps from another breeder? Some people say it mixes genetics. Can I add high grade females and males to my colony? Well, my theory and advice on that is if you're getting shrimp that are better than the ones you already have, then don't even mess with the ones you already have. You know, if you want the best shrimp you possibly can, if you have shrimp that, if you get new shrimp that are better, focus on those in their own colony. Don't make them worse by adding them to the ones you have already that ain't as good. That's my theory on that. Like I try to keep my shrimps all separate. I keep the same separate colonies of separate lines. And they all get a little bit kind of different sometimes, especially my greens. My greens vary from tank to tank quite a bit. Do you ship to Europe? No, I do not. Right now, I get people asking me every week if I ship to Canada or Europe. And they're like, why don't you import shrimp? Why don't you export? Like, I'm just a guy, I'm just a hobbyist in my house, breeding as many shrimp as I can to make a living. I'm just small time. Maybe someday we will get to that point. Just because I have a YouTube channel and sell shrimp for a living doesn't mean I'm a big time multinational shrimp exporter. I'm just me. I don't have any workers, I don't have any help. Just me making YouTube videos, taking care of all these tanks. Let's see. I saw someone recently that had some blue dreams with a golden racing stripe. Now I really want to try to get those. I've seen them pop up in my Skittles now. Blues, like the blue dream type of blues. Now it's pretty common to see like blue carbon release, but like the blue head, blue tail, clear middle, I've only seen like one or two of those pop up. And the same thing goes with the blue dreams with the racing stripe. Those are just really rare. I haven't seen too many of those. I've seen a blue one with the racing stripe, and it was pretty cool. But if there's signs of those that exist, that would be pretty cool. It's Dave. Just put in an order. What's the estimated time of arrival? Well, it is my next shipping day is Friday, so they'll be going out Friday. You can probably expect them to get to your house Monday, I would say. That's probably how they will be. Well, I normally send an email with every new order, but I can't send an email right now because I'm doing this. To let everyone new order knew that. Mark Delaney. Is that where you got the Starburst from? Thank you. You're doing a great job, Anthony says. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. I am trying. I give my full and total dedication and devotion to these shrimp and my customers in the YouTube videos. And so I'm doing the best I can. Now, I'm actually looking at getting a real video editing computer because now I shoot everything on my phone and even edit on my phone. So I'm not even a real video editor. I'm not even a real YouTuber, I don't think. I'm just a hobbyist with a passion. And so I'm looking at getting a nice video editing computer, powerful machine that I can, because believe it or not, I actually used to be a bit of a computer whiz. I actually have a college degree in computer information technology and used to work on computers and used to make websites for a living. And then when I got down to school and realized, I am not going to make very much money starting out. So then I went in another direction. Let's see. Cool if you could breed more of those blue dreams or carbon rallies with the gold racing stripe. From what I know in Asia, that's another trend moving. Tricolored Neos, yeah. That'd be cool. I mean, that's just one of the things I've seen a few pop up out of all the years. And you remember those guys in Asia, they were, some of these guys in Asia were hardcore shrimp breeders for years and years before anyone in the U.S. even knew what a Neocaridina shrimp was. So they have like a 30-year head start on us, probably more than that. They have like probably 2 generations of people, maybe even more than that. Do you think it's possible to convert Caridina to hard water? Probably not. Now I know there's a guy, he was trying to get him to breed without soil. Like he was using RODI water, but he wasn't using the buffering substrate. So I don't think it ever worked for him. I haven't heard anything else about it. How do you feed powdered food? Well, I have sponges on all my intakes, and so it just collects on the sponge. And then, and how do you feed powdered food without getting sucked into your hang-on back filter? That's how it just gets. I have sponge pre-filters on all my hang-on backs, and I imagine some get sucked up in the filter. But let's see. Did I miss anything? Let me go through here and see if I missed anything. Just orders. Yeah, small time tanks you could actually, but it depends. I have a crystal black colony. Okay. Let's see. All right. Well, we are already an hour and 15 minutes in. So I think I'm going to start closing it up and try to come up with an idea for a video for Friday. Hopefully I can come up with something. Been too busy and a mental block on creativity. Let's see. Have you crossed any other shrimp with your snowballs? Oh, not on purpose. I had a snowball or other shrimp end up in a snowball tank before, where I still, years and years ago, somehow a red shrimp got my snowball. And every great once in a while, I'll see like a red really or like a pink shrimp in the snowballs. Every great once in a while. And that's from years and years ago. A red shrimp somehow ended up in the snowball tank. And I've called and called and called, and I mean, it's like 1 out of 1,000 or more, like 1 out of 2,000. And you'll get a shrimp, they'll throw a shrimp with a little tiny bit of red on it. Something like a 30-day neo breeding challenge with a new tank. Yeah, maybe. It's like when I think of these. Yeah, see, that's the thing with. I'm trying to It's like I know what I need to do to make better videos, and so with what I'm stuck limited to now is just kind of like, if that makes any sense. Like I know what I need to do better. I have to get to that point. And so yeah. Does the NPK of plant fertilizer stick to you matter? Uh, if you can find, I try to go for like the 10-10-10 ones, but beggars can't be choosers. If that's all you can find, I think it'll be good. I mean, what you want is those nutrients get down to the roots of like your crips. And I have found like, let's see, I'm pretty sure, I don't even remember. Let me go look. What are these anyway? These are 13-4-5. So a lot of nitrogen, and I've had really good luck with these. I usually go for the 10-10-10 ones if I can find them, but like I said, it's not super important. I mean, it is, but something down there is better than nothing down there. All right. All right, you guys. I thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. I've been on here over an hour now. It went pretty good, I think. So, pretty smooth. Maybe we'll do it again. Oh, we'll do it again sometime, but maybe regularly. See, just just take a walk around this. Let's see. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to roll out. Yeah, I'm going to be on Jeff's. So here in about 2 hours, I'm going to be on Jeff's live stream. So if you want to see more of my ugly face, go check out Jeff's live stream here in a little bit. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Bye. Thank you guys.